Want to get creeped out? I want to talk about someone else who tried the Three Kings ritual. For storytelling purposes, we will name these people Olivia and Tyler. Olivia and Tyler were brother and sister. They had just started college and were also trying to save for the future. Their whole family would always watch horror movies together, and it was just a fun thing that they liked to do. Olivia was the one who had discovered the Three Kings ritual and told her family about it. Tyler thought it would be a great idea for them to try, and Olivia did not have any objections. Their parents didn't seem to think much of it either. They said, go ahead, have fun. Olivia agreed to be Tyler's loved one for the ritual, but she didn't want to be the one herself who did the ritual. They waited until a Saturday night when they both would have the next day off. There was a large part of the basement that was empty and unused. However, Tyler's bedroom was also in the basement. They weren't sure how this would affect the ritual because they really weren't able to follow the rules to a T because Tyler was planning on sleeping in his room. But they decided to also just not worry about it. At 11 p.m., they set up the chairs in the basement, set up the mirrors, the bucket of water, the mug, and the fan. They made sure to leave Tyler's bedroom door open, but closed the door at the top of the stairs. Olivia had agreed that she would set her alarm for about 3:30 in the morning and then would just hang out until it was time to get Tyler. Tyler went into his bedroom and placed his power object under his pillow. His power object was a blanket that he always had slept with when he was little. So cute. He did have a strange dream. He dreamt that he got up and that it was time to do the ritual. And when he went to walk out of his bedroom, the main part of the basement was just empty darkness. He took a step into the basement and started falling into this empty darkness. It felt like he was falling for miles when his real alarm clock actually went off. He lit his candle, grabbed his cell phone and his blanket, and walked into the main part of the basement where the chairs were set up. He sat down in the middle chair in his throne. The main part of the basement was not finished. It was cement floors and the walls hadn't completely been drywalled. His bedroom was the only room of the basement that was finished. He sat down in the darkness and was thankful to hear footsteps above him and was comforted knowing that his sister had gotten up. He wasn't superstitious, but he was a little stitious. He sat there for about 5 minutes with nothing happening when he heard a knock on his bedroom door. Right after, he felt like he could hear giggling coming from the left mirror. His immediate reaction was to look at the left mirror. But right before he did, he stopped himself and looked away, remembering that that is a huge rule. He sat there for another few moments of silence. And then he heard scratching, and it sounded like it was coming from his bedroom on his bedroom door. And again, he felt like he could hear giggling from the left mirror. Tyler said that he was not one to normally get freaked out, but he was actually feeling terrified. He said, in truth, he was one of those people who wanted to do this ritual, believing that nothing would really happen, but kind of hoping it would. He really did want some kind of proof that there was something else, that there was something supernatural or paranormal or just something that science hadn't discovered yet. But now that he was in this situation, he felt terrified. Then he heard footsteps coming down the stairs from the upstairs. He wondered for a moment if this was his sister or one of his parents, but he hadn't heard anyone walking upstairs in a while, so that would be weird. He was nervous that it was one of them and that they were going to scream and scare him. But in his gut, he knew that it wasn't them. As quickly as he had heard the footsteps stopped. He decided to start counting out loud. It was one of the ways that he used to calm himself as a child.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
When he got to 5, he started hearing knocking again on his bedroom door. But this time it wasn't stopping. The knocking just kept going and was getting louder and louder. And again, he was hearing giggling coming from the left mirror. Then a voice.
It will be your last breath.
He decided to try to ignore it and just keep counting.
6, 7, 8, 9.
The knocking stopped. And the scratching started again. The voice continued, but now it said,
You will never be anything. You will never be anything. You are waste. You are dirt. You are disgusting.
In his peripheral vision, it felt like he could see something coming out of the left mirror. It was big and dark, and he felt like he could see whatever was coming towards him had really long, sharp claws and really awkward features that were just wrong, like limbs that went the wrong way. He didn't know what to do. He felt like he couldn't move. He felt like there was nothing he could do. If he tried to run, whatever it was would clearly get him. Whatever the creature was, it was moving extremely slowly, and he was just sitting there, trying to think of what to do next. When all of a sudden, his chair tipped, and he heard something break. It didn't tip enough to make him fall off of the chair, but he had felt something give way, like one of the legs of the chairs had broken off. Not completely, but just a part of it. He could hear himself breathing, hyperventilating. Not only was his peripheral vision showing him that something was crawling towards him on his left, but he also had this sick sensation like something was right above him. He tried to slow his breathing, to focus on it. He was doing everything he could not to look up and not to look at the mirror. On the right side, the mirror seemed brighter, and he heard a voice. The voice said very calmly,
"Just keep looking. Straight ahead. You're gonna be okay. Yep, you're gonna be okay."
He held the blanket from his childhood to him, trying to feel some kind of comfort, trying to feel some kind of warmth from it. A splash of cold water brought him to his senses. His sister was standing over him and had clearly just poured water on top of him. She had tried to call him 5 times. She had called his name. She said he had just been sitting there, holding his blanket with tears running down his face. She said when she stood in front of him, he could not see her. It was like he was in a trance. It had terrified her, and she was so worried that even the water wouldn't wake him up. Tyler and Olivia told their parents about the experience, and their parents kind of laughed it off like this didn't really happen. The weird part was that the chair was broken. A part of one of the legs of the chairs had chipped right off. And now if you tried to sit on that chair, you would kind of be tipping. Nothing happened after they did the Three Kings ritual, but Tyler was so freaked out by it that he now sleeps upstairs on his living room couch every night. He said it's been months, and since he is so scared, his parents are finally starting to believe them. What do you guys think?
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell if you want to be notified when a new video is posted.